Because the cartridge on the Oddworld Adventures 2 is black, this means that it is compatible with the original Game Boy console. But did you know that it is slightly different compared to the Game Boy Color console? Here's a quick side-by-side comparison on both consoles. So let's get started. Starting off with the GameSpeak menu, in the Game Boy console, the lack of details is missing, but when it comes to the character sprites themselves, it's still the same and it looks quite impressive, despite the lack of colors. The same can also be said for the slideshow cutscenes, as they all use the same static images and they all still look impressively the same, despite no colors either. Moving on to gameplay difference, one of the obvious difference is that in the Game Boy console there's a lack of background difference. But I also noticed something with Ape sprite. They're actually different on both consoles. In the Game Boy Color console, Ape's upper body is moving 2 frames based on Ape's Odyssey and Exodus, but in Game Boy it's just Ape's arms that is moving and his body is standing still. The brew machine is much more larger on the Game Boy console compared to the Game Boy Color console, and they look completely different as well. Take a look in the Game Boy console. Look at the ape mark on the cliff, as it is faced on the right side, but in the Game Boy Color console it's faced on the left side. It's like these two levels aren't even the same, but are just two completely different designs, despite looking the same. Another strange detail is in this area. In the Game Boy Color console, there's a front layer, but in the Game Boy console, there's no front layer. Instead, it's a background layer. Or rather, these two cliffs aren't even shaped the same. But yeah, that was my quick comparison on Oddworld Adventures 2 on Game Boy and Game Boy Color.